Remember that scene in The Princess Bride where Wesley challenges Vizzini to a battle of the wits? You know, the one with the Iocane powder? The last few times I watched the movie, something about that scene didn't set quite right with me, and I've been developing a theory about what's really going on. Wesley was involved in a battle of wits against Vizzini, a battle which necessarily involves a certain amount of deception. I think that Wesley was deceiving Vizzini about his use of the Iocane powder. Wesley describes Iocane powder to Vizzini as being odorless, tasteless, dissolves instantly in liquid, and is among the more deadly poisons known to man. When presenting the poison to Vizzini, Wesley also gives him the explicit instructions, "Inhale this, but do not touch." While I believe Wesley may truthfully have spent several years building up a resistance to the effects of Iocane powder, I propose that rather than poisoning both goblets as he claimed to have done, Wesley didn't pour the Iocane powder into either cup of wine. Especially since the Iocane was in powder form, I suspect that rather than being an ingested poison, it was an inhalation poison. Vizzini wasn't poisoned when Wesley poured, or didn't pour, Iocane powder into the wine goblets, but when Wesley told him to waft the vial of Iocane powder. Since Iocane powder is odorless, Vizzini wouldn't have noticed that trace amounts of one of the more deadly poisons known to man had been introduced into his system, trace amounts that were still enough to kill a man within minutes. And since Iocane powder came from Australia, and it's well documented that Australia is home to some of the most venomous species of plants and animals on Earth, there's no reason not to believe that such a small quantity of Iocane powder could have killed a man of Vizzini's stature. Wesley had already won the Battle of Wits before it had begun, and was simply stalling for time until the poison took its effect. This is a good theory. Iocane powder only exists in The Princess Bride, so there's nothing to disprove this. I'll go ahead and integrate that into my belief system. I'll go with this one too. Makes plenty of sense to me. Then again, Iocane, I'd bet my life on it. This might be an issue to consider for the posited theory. But look, he doesn't inhale it straight into his nostril like the Sicilian did. See how it's at septum? It's pressed against it so he can smell it without inhaling the contents. He knew what was up. He can't smell it anyhow. Odorless and dissolves almost instantly in liquid. Better theory, he's not actually inhaling there, but it's an exotic poison that average people have heard of but don't know much about, so he's putting on a show. He's a prince though, born with a target on his back. He probably knows quite a bit about poisons and knew better than to directly inhale an abandoned, unidentifiable powder next to a corpse. I always thought he recognized it as Iocane powder specifically because it didn't have a smell. This really changes that scene in The Princess Bride.